This video presentation is going to be about information literacy. We live in an information-rich society. Information is everywhere around us, and we're in information overload. With the internet, with media, there's access to so much information, so many different sources. So the point of information literacy is to be able to evaluate that information, to sift through and discriminate your different sources, different types of information when you're doing research. The importance of having information literacy, being information literate, is to have an informed citizenry and an informed electorate in our rapidly changing society. Media and information literacy consists of the knowledge, attitudes, and the sum of skills needed to know when and what information is needed, where and how to obtain that information, how to evaluate and organize it once it is found, and how to use it in an ethical way. So that's a mouthful, but I encourage you to have a look at the slide again and see what I'm talking about there. It's about critical thinking and interpreting information, and in our context, across professional and educational boundaries in the context of an interdisciplinary course. So it's when, what information is needed, where to get it, how to evaluate it, and how to organize it. Student is information literate, can access information, evaluate, and use it. Accessing information, we're going through learning about how to access information on the library. We're evaluating the sources for credibility, authority, and we're using that information in terms of building up data, collecting data, and using it and analyzing it and synthesizing it to apply it to our research questions. There's a growing movement to talk about information literacy as a basic human right, and we would tend to agree with that, and we could say that everyone has the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media regardless of frontiers. So this is going back, as you see here, to 1948 when this Declaration of the Human Rights Convention was laid out. There's a quote here from, I always say this name wrong, but it's Kuhlthau, a very important researcher in information studies and in information literacy studies. So you can read that for yourself there. Talks about information literacy as being a process, constructing meaning, and being information literate when the student was confident to sift through information and discriminate good information from bad information. For example, and I especially like you to pay attention to this part here. Construct meaning from information you gathered. That's an important little part of being information literate. Kuhlthau's model of the information search process. I'm just going to pause this here. You can see that Kuhlthau was a researcher, very influential researcher in the in library science and in information studies, and she wanted to track research through different stages or steps. So the first step is initiation, the next step is selection, the next step is exploration, followed by formulation, collection, presentation, and assessment. So I'm just going to take a minute to go through these different phases or steps of the research process according to Kuhlthau. Notice that Kuhlthau has an effective, or takes into consideration the affective domain, or what the student feels as they go through different stages of this 2, 4, 6, 7 stage research process. So I know it's hard to read here, but I'm going to sort of highlight here so we can see. Feelings at initiation are uncertainty, and then thoughts are vague. Actions involve seeking relevant information and an exploration facet here. Followed by selection and optimism. At selection stage, there's optimism. And at exploration, there's confusion, frustration, and doubt. This is where the teacher needs to come in and help with formulating clarity, and the teacher often steps in here to maintain focus and help the student move forward to get this when they start collecting data here and collecting information, a sense of direction and confidence. And then obviously with the presentation of the information and the synthesis and the analysis of that information, you get satisfaction or disappointment. And when you're looking back on assessment, just refers to looking back after your presentation and saying, okay, how did I do here? And there's a sense of accomplishment associated with that. So I invite you to take this down, to pay special attention to this certain process that Kuhlthau suggested was embodied in the information search process. Oops. Just continuing on here, information literacy forms the basis of how people learn in the information environment of the 21st century. So we're in a particular age, the information age, and there's basically three different parts of this process here. We look at locating information, evaluating that information, and using the information. So those are some important points to keep in mind there as we're doing our research. Use, obviously, it's different uses for information, different ways to evaluate, for different criteria by which to evaluate. I want to encourage us that libraries and search engines are important locations rather than just Googling information, as we saw in our little our funny video there that we had. Guided inquiry. And this is integrates information literacy into the content of the curriculum, addresses these different stages, and I think we'll wrap it up there with a little note about guided inquiry and how it's how the teacher can come in and help out researchers.